to prove that you are already abundant and money is flowing freely into your life. If you don't see this yet, it's time to open your eyes. When did this exercise, when I did this exercise the first time, I realized that I was literally manifesting about $100 a day into my life from unexpected sources every single day. I was taking $100 for granted on a consistent basis. No wonder I broke. More gifts from the universe that I wasn't acknowledging. My daily $100 manifesting came through so many random ways. It would come from my friends buying me lunch, my boyfriend surprising me with coffee, finding pennies, nickels, dimes, dollars on the ground, noticing a parking meter had time left over in it from the person who had parked before me, getting a discount at the register when purchasing something I was already going to buy, and being able to keep $20 in my pocket. The restaurant I was having dinner at comping me for a meal out of the blue. I quickly realized that I was already abundant and money found its way to me in my life all of the time. But if I would have never thought to track the money coming into my life, I would have never realized that I was already manifesting so much on a daily basis. Oh, poop. It says that my internet connection is not stable. Oh, we're back. Okay. I don't know what the last thing you heard was. I'll just keep going. I'll take pictures of it and post it in the closed group Metaphysical Misfits if you didn't want to watch the video or if I skipped out on something. It's so important to take note of the money coming into your life. So many people set a goal of manifesting $1,000 or more into their lives just to realize that the money has been sitting right under their noses all of the time. Your assignment is to spend the next 24 hours tracking your money. Open up a spreadsheet, your journal, the notes app on your phone, or use whatever space below this chapter and start writing down all the money that comes your way. Find a penny on the ground, write it down. Friend bought you coffee? Write it down. Save 30 cents on a gallon of gas? Write it down. Remember that the more you feel abundant, the more abundance will flow your way. The more money you acknowledge, the more of it flows your way. The universe responds to your vibration. You have to be the person who has an extra $1,000 in your life. How would someone who manifested $1,000 act? If you had $1,000 in your hand right now, what would your posture be like? What would you stand up straight for once? Would you smile? Would you get your nails done? Maybe go get a massage? I would absolutely get a massage done. Get rid of clothing that's ripped and should have been in the trash months ago. Would you speak with more confidence? When you act like the person who has all of the money in the world, the universe responds. The universe will give you exactly what you already are. Your reality is just an illusion that you create. So why create anything less than incredible? Anything less is absolutely, why? So why create anything less than incredible? Anything less than absolutely amazing? Yeah, why the hell not? It started the live in a weird place. It's all right. We're the only ones really watching this. I'll post the pictures. I know the feed, it's raining here, so the feed is all fucked up. But I have a cute little fairy mug. All right. I want to encourage you to start dreaming bigger because you can literally have, be, and do and create anything you want. Say it with me. Money is an unlimited resource. It is always flowing my way. Repeat it 1,000 times and watch the channels of abundance open up. So when I was first learning about the law of abundance, oh, thank you. Yes, I like it. When I was first learning about the law of abundance, the message came through because we were going to food pantries. Carlos's job was seasonal, so we would go months without income. And we were about to be evicted for, I don't know, the third time. And I got a message from, like, I did this whole thing where I got sober, I gave over like my life, and then I was instantly shown this vision of what my purpose is. And part of that was I was in the Christian church at that time. And so I was reading and studying the Bible, trying so hard to believe in the Bible. I tried really hard. And but there are parts of it that are really amazing. And one of those parts, and you know, the universe uses all kinds of things to get messages to us. That's why I know a lot about a lot of stuff. I've just followed, you know, spirit while they were trying to teach me, instead of being like, oh no, I'm not gonna look at that. So in the Bible, it talks about how like the abundance is there. The abundance is offered, and the plants don't worry about it, and the animals don't worry about it. They just know that it's there and accept it, right? And I'm gonna adjust this because it's driving me crazy. And I need to lean back. Lean back. Lean back. Lean back. Okay, anyway. So in the middle of us having absolutely not just no money, but like about to lose everything, I was given the message to stop charging, because I had been doing, childcare. Like I had been taking care of kids in my home. At the time, both of my boys were unschooled. And, you know, so I just helped unschool other people's kids whenever they needed me. And so that was holding us through. And Carlos, you know, he was working seasonal. So like he had a few shifts, and I got the message to stop charging for my services. Like it was one of these messages where it's like, you're going to trust me or not. And I was so miserable. And I had learned that the way I was thinking and what I was trying and how I was acting got me in the position that I was in. So I was just like kind of desperate to have to try anything else. And there was like this weird inner calm about following that particular guidance. And it's not a TV. There we go. Whatever. And so I was like, are you serious? I can't go to him and say I know we're struggling, but God is telling me to stop charging prices and trust the abundance is there. But that's what I did. That's what I did. I went and I told him that I had gotten this message, and God bless him. He had faith in me. I don't know how much faith he has in me now, but he had a lot of faith in me. And so I decided to barter, and yeah, Lacey, yeah. When people say like, oh, thank God, I'm like, yes, thank yourself. You know? But for some people, that's like so blasphemous. So that's when I started doing the bartering. And I had one particular mother that was furious that I wouldn't set a price. And I was like, well, you could be mad at me. I'm still not. I want you to pay what you feel called to pay. What do you feel I'm worth? And she was like, well, what if I just, I pay you little? What if I don't want to pay you? And I was like, well, then I believe that the abundance will come through another avenue. And so she owned an organic or ran an organic co-op. And so we started bartering food for childcare services. And all of a sudden, we had not just enough food, but enough like quality food that wasn't going to interfere with any of our, health stuff. It was, and I saw that the abundance really is there. The abundance really is there. It's more about, are we going to have enough faith and trust in the process to let go? Like there's this quote that says, leap and the net will appear. Well, it's fucking terrifying to leap, because it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, how do I really know that you're going to catch me? And that's why I share my experience, because I want you to know you'll be caught, And so suddenly I went from all of that to all the great food. And then that allowed us we could save the money that we needed, and pay rent. And, it ended up all going together. And that's when I learned the law of abundance, and I did bartering. That's how I survived for the last 3 years, because I wasn't able to work. I couldn't even do something like HempWorks like I'm doing now, because my brain, I got scrambled from one end of the camper to the other, but even that, I've manifested this wellness. I've manifested this camper. I've manifested, this possibility to learn how to manifest money. When we want it and we go for it, we'll get it. The thing is, people forget that even if they don't want it, they're going to get it, because our brain works, our vibration is established based on what we're thinking, because what we're thinking will affect how we're feeling. And if we're feeling shitty, then we're going to create shitty shit. Might not be the exact same scenario, because there's a whole slew that can happen, in a vibratory field. And some of the reasons for the vibrational alignment with certain things is because of DNA or genetic or history, trauma that's stuck. That's what this is. I'm telling you, all of the pain we are feeling in our bodies, if we could just understand at least the concept that it's just trauma. It's just communication. That's it. Our bodies are a communication device, and I feel like they're just now waking back up. And I feel like if once I could understand that there really was nothing wrong, as a matter of fact, my body was responding exactly the way it was intended to be, showing. It's just that here in this realm, we call those things, manifestations of disease and whatnot. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to have the experience where, if they do certain things, it's going to go away. We each are on our own experience. My experience, which is just, I have my experience because I'm doing what I saw other people do that worked. And I was desperate enough to try it, because what did I have to lose? And I've been diligent with it because I did want to live, And Lacey, man, I've come a long way. A long way. I'm so proud of myself. Oh my God. I used to hate myself. I really did. I really hated myself. And then when I started learning to look at myself as a child, that's when I was like, oh, I don't want to be mean to you anymore, I'm super excited. Through all of that pain and all of that turmoil, I kept going, and now I'm in a position where I'm actually doing what I've wanted to do literally my entire life. Every time something would happen, I would say, you know what? I'm going to use this to help other people. Every time, that was my solace. the whole time, even through the horrible shit, was I know me, I'm going to take this and I'm going to help other people with it. Like, so it's just really easy as long, like the hardest part is the blocks that we put between where we are now and where we want to be. You know? And then once you realize, at least once I realized that I was the one keeping the blocks there by doing the work of owning my own shit, like that's when things really was like, whoa. Like I'm done with the agony, so I guess I want to stop doing things that cause agony. And then it was like, okay, well, what am I doing that's causing me agony? Number one, I didn't love myself, and that caused like just a spider web to go out from there. I didn't love myself, and so I was in unhealthy relationships. I didn't love myself, and so I didn't take care of my body. I didn't love myself, and so I just ate shit. I didn't love myself, so I didn't reach out for help. I didn't love myself, so I didn't keep going in school. I didn't love myself, and so like that was the thing. And as soon as I started to love myself, just like that spider web went out with the self-loathing, it went out with the self-love, and it was wild. Everything like wildfire changed in my life. It was fucking beautiful. And that's when I started to heal. That is when I started to heal. And then it comes down to like, well, what is self-love? Because there's a lot of there's, for me at least, I was calling my mentor. I was like, well, I don't know if this is self-love or if this is me being selfish. You know what I mean? So that's like the work. Yeah. Yes, we can will our bodies to get sick and die. That's some powerful shit. So now I'm having this realization. I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I can will my body to be sick and die, then surely I can will it to, run smoothly and thrive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's because I never had like that kind of mentality modeled for me as a child, but that's like, what? I knew what it would do, and I was so depressed. I didn't care, and now I'm back pedaling and changing everything I did to myself. Yeah. How do you feel when you look? Yeah, it's weird and awkward. Do you cry? Do you cry when you do that? When you look in the mirror and say, I love you? Do you look yourself in the eyes? Like, really? Oh my God. I cried. I cried. Every time I did it, and which just really showed me, I was like, wow. Yeah. I know we're both busy. However, maybe we can at least like do a tarot card reading, and then maybe we'll do a little healing, because I know for me, there were blocks. Like I did a lot of the work on the trauma. What happens is like, it's like for me, I got so far, and then it was just like, there was like the plateau where I was like, I feel like I've done everything I possibly fucking can. Why? Like, why is this happening to me? And that's when the energy healing came into my life. That's when Michelle Orwick came into my life and did the theta healing on me. That's when I did the hex removal ritual, and boom, things shifted overnight, you know? Yeah. I mean, that is like, okay, so when we feel embarrassed and guilty, when we look in our eyes, what is it that, whose voice is it that is triggering that response? Or what is it guilt and embarrassment about? Because, sometimes that's our response because that's what we were trained to think, Sometimes it's our response because we're not taught to ever say I love you to ourselves or look in the mirror at ourselves, like at ourselves, You know that whole thing where you're supposed to, or where you can like sit and stare into someone's eyes for 4 minutes and fall in love? I think I'm going to try it in the mirror. What do you think? I bet that would be fucking intense. Oh my God. Kind of makes me excited. I'm really interested. I'm sure other people have done it. Sad that I hurt myself and didn't care. So you're grieving. Yeah, you're grieving. You're grieving and you're forgiving yourself right now. The thing is, we all hurt ourselves. And when we didn't know, we didn't know what we didn't know. When I was a child, we lived in Mine 40 in Pennsylvania in this very steep hill. And there was like this tar in between the sidewalk slats. And I always loved it because it was kind of soft, but it wasn't. So like you could mush it, but it wouldn't tear apart. And my mom would tell me all of the time, wear your shoes when you're running up and down the hill. And she told me I was going to hurt myself. I didn't give a shit. I was 5 years old and I was going to run up and down the hill whether I had shoes on or not. And one day I busted my ass and ripped the skin entirely off the tip of my big toenail. It hurt. Oh God. And then they took me into it was bleeding. They took me into the kitchen and they put my toe in like warm water with soap and it was just absolutely horrible. It was horrible. So with that kind of mentality in mind, would I look at that younger self and guilt that little girl for hurting herself, for making decisions that hurt herself? Even though she's just learning and she didn't know? I wouldn't do that to a child. I take care of a lot of kids and I wouldn't do that to a child. I don't sit there and some parents do. Some parents are, I told you should have listened. And that might be where the voice comes from. Like we learned that behavior to berate ourselves, All that feeling is that guilt and stuff really is because it's like our feelings are very important. And at the same time, they don't always mean like as big as we think they mean, So it's like, it's one of those things where like we want to come to ourselves as our children, and you have kids. So what I did this is part of my journey. What I did was I really started to pay attention to the way that I was speaking to my children and how I was acting. And there would be these moments that would pop up where either I would notice that I responded, in like a better way than my parents did. So there would be these moments where it would be like, I'll react to something or respond to something or whatever. And then I'll feel that like, oh, I changed that because that is not how my mother would have handled it. Right. So like from the contrast of being treated that way, we knew that we wanted to raise our children in another way. Right. Well, the same thing goes for when I am talking to my kids and I will hear something or feel my face make an expression that my parents made. And I'll feel that, ugh, ugh, and there's like the pivotal moment where we can then hold a mirror. Because if we're responding to our kids that way, big chance that we're still talking to our inner self that way, our inner child. So and when I hear those words coming out of my mouth, I'm like, ooh, like, okay, what's triggered? What's triggered? And what am I feeling right now? Oh, I'm feeling remorse for speaking to them in an unkind manner, like, yeah, exactly. You gotta know what you don't want to know what you want. So right now, all you're experiencing, not in a diminishing way or a dismissive way, but it's just a sign from your higher self that you want to take care of yourself. And so like my brain is already off on like a rampage. So it's like, okay, once we can get ourselves to an objective point of view, just, out a little bit further, it's like good that we can own our own and that we, can recognize that we hurt ourselves before we knew what was right. Or even when we knew what was right, we still chose to hurt ourselves for whatever reason, because like that could get stuck. So come out even more and be like, I'm grateful for the experience where I didn't take care of myself, because now I know and understand that what I want is to learn to take care of this vessel, learn things that I haven't been taught about this vessel, eating right, and all of that stuff. And I know that I'm doing steps. I know that you are taking steps to do this. I know that you are. We've been doing it together for a long time, girl. So we know, because we're taking that inspired action, that we're creating that. And doesn't it feel good to know that you're practicing, present moment thinking and neuroplasticity and the emotional intelligence and ability to stop and recognize like, ooh, I'm getting ready to participate in this cycle or whatever behavior or, whatever it is. The goodness that it feels when you can realize even just that, even if like it keeps going down the negative field, just the fact that we're even able to say, oh, this is negative, I'm still going to do it. Like just that, even acknowledging, oh, I'm about to partake in something that I know has hurt me in the past. Like coffee. Do you really think that I don't have messages coming in not to drink coffee? Oh, I am. And I'm choosing to do it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like that. Right now, the comfort of having the coffee is outweighing the negative effects. And that probably doesn't make any sense to anybody other than me too. I hate Dandy Blend. Well, I don't hate it. I can have it every once in a while. I've tried all of them. They're not coffee. I've thought about getting like the low acid organic decaffeinated stuff, you know, but I don't know. Yeah, well, I can't. I don't want to have the hot chocolate because that's two whammies, you know. So yeah.
The nurse is here. Do you want me?
Oh, I'm coming. I'm done.
All right.
Thank you, Daddy.
You're welcome.
My dad's hospice nurse is here, so I'm gonna go. I love you. I hope that we're learning from each other. I hope that this is helping, and you're fucking awesome. I'm super grateful that like we're on this journey together. All right, I will talk to you later. Have a good day.